Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and here we go with my first playthrough of the Out of the Park 21 season. We're going to be going with the Cubs. I mentioned that in my last episode, if you did or didn't get a chance to see it. I think this team's going to be a challenge, especially long term. Short term, I mean, they may play around 500. I've got the owner goals turned on, so my owner thinks that we should make the playoffs. I'm a little skeptical. But this episode, we'll take a look at the team, where we're at, just at default with me not doing really any changes. We're about to start the season. We're at opening day today, so I'll hopefully get the sim through maybe the first month of the season, see how we start out. One of the things I want to start out, though, is just kind of going through some of the rules that I'm going to be playing by. First off, I'm not going to be playing in challenge mode. I've done that before in a previous playthrough. It is kind of fun. It does give you what I like to think of as a fog of war effect. But I'm going to be playing with settings that are similar to that anyway. I am going to be fireable. So if I don't perform, I can get fired. So I left that setting off, the one that says you can't be fired. And I'm not in commissioner mode. So I'll be playing as GM, though, and manager for the Cubs. I do like to take control of everything when I can. So it's all going to be on me. Hopefully that won't be too much information or too much, hopefully I don't get bogged down in too many tasks as we go through this playthrough, but I'm kind of a control freak when I play this game. I've done it GM only. I've tried to do it manager only, and I don't have as much fun if I'm not in control. But we're going with the 20/80 scale on the individual ratings. In the past, I've used 1 to 20. I thought I would go 20 to 80. I know that's the standard scouting scale anyway, and I know a lot of guys on playthroughs, they're using that, so I'm going to try to get used to it, but I am doing the stars for overall and potential. Scouting is going to be used. It's going to be pretty normal. Defaults are most of the settings I'm going with are default. I am going to be using the new rules that are coming over. That means minimum batters faced has to be 3, or for a pitcher, or they have to be the last pitcher of the inning. They have to end the inning. The roster size, going to go with that expanded roster size of 28, which that's going to be the biggest thing with me, because I really like calling up a lot of guys in September. 28 doesn't give you a whole lot to play with, especially when your active roster is already at 26. So that's going to be tough, I think, for me to get used to. Trading and Rule 5 and waiver wire things, those are all the same. They're going to be set to the default. And injured length is going to be for batters 10 days on the injured list. Pitchers is going to be 15 days. That's going to take some getting used to. Although I've always found pitchers, when they get injured, it's usually for a longer time. And honestly, you probably need to rest them longer than you would an everyday player too. And be kind of a little bit more cautious. Use your rehab assignments on pitchers. But that's gonna that's how the injured list is gonna look. For financials, all that's gonna be the same. I am going to go with the evolving league, but the only thing I'd uncheck there is schedule length. I hate when the schedule lengths change. I can never get used to that. But everything else is fair game. So we might see roster sizes change. We might see some expansions or relocations. That would be kind of cool to see if we get deep into this playthrough. I am going to go with the new thing this year, the home run challenge and the prospects game during that all-star break. We'll see how that goes. I don't change any of these defaults for development and the player creation modifiers. I'm just going to go with what they've got set, and we'll see how it does. I found in the past, when I go through a playthrough and I get into multiple seasons, I always see it balancing anyway. I mean, you'll have offense kind of being the big numbers are on the offensive side for a few years, and then it'll switch around, and defense and pitching takes over, and you'll have 20 game winners and guys with ERA sub 2, here and there. But I'm just going to go with all those defaults. And I think that's all I wanted to cover on the rules. I will say, too, I'm using defaults on the injuries. And the default setting is there's I don't know where that is, to be honest, right off the bat. Is it under players? Yeah. Injury frequency, I've got it at OOTP Classic. You can go high, which is supposedly realistic, but every time I've done that, it's way too much to manage. I mean, it's just injuries. And I appreciate that might be more realistic, but I'm just going to go with the normal setting on that. And also, I'm going to use for AI, the trading difficulty is going to be average, and it's going to be neutral. Ratings are going to be where the weight is for the AI. So in the past, that's been, I think, pretty good, I think, for me anyway. Gives you fairly good level of realism and makes it tough as well. I've got my own game rules when it comes to trading. When we get to that in the playthrough, I'll cover that at that point. But I play pretty conservative. I think if you're coming to me from my previous playthroughs, you'll understand. So this is kind of big for me. I know the Phillies are my favorite team. I've done Philly playthroughs before. Even with them, I know they have a fairly decent budget, but I like to be conservative on the budget. I like to have a lot of room to play around with when it comes to that. So with this Cubs team, that's the thing that scares me most. There's very little room to play around with. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the team first off. I want to go to my manager screen, and I've got it set up on a 3x4 grid. You can go a lot higher than that, but hopefully this won't be too small or too cluttered. But I like to have pretty good amount of information here. I like to have my team stat rankings. I like to be able to look at that at a glance and the standings. Also got my minor league system here. When I play the games, it'll have the last game here. I can view the box score and everything from here. Got the team chemistry and my tasks that are out there. For owner goals, this is where we're at, and I'm really going to probably have a hard time meeting any of these. Although I really think the goal to build a team that can bring a championship home by 2024, I'm up for that. I think 4 seasons in, maybe we can do that. But I don't see this team reaching the playoffs, either in real life or in this in this version of the game. I think they've got some big holes with pitching, and I think the big-time players that have carried this Cubs team for the last several years, I don't know that they're quite at that level they were 34 years ago, like Rizzo, Bryant, those guys. They're wanting me to sign, or my owner's wanting me to sign Anthony Rizzo to an extension when his contract comes up. That's going to be debatable whether I'll be able to do that too. But you see with the team chemistry, we're content right now. So that's a fairly good mix. I'm not seeing anybody unhappy on the roster. But let's take a look at the roster and see what we have. For the pitching staff, and I've got their overall ratings here, Kimbrel is the highest rated. He's the closer. I'm pretty happy with him there. His control can be a little bit shaky, but I think hopefully he'll be okay. He's coming off a pretty poor season with the Cubs, but that, a lot of that may have been because he was off for so long before they signed him. But that starting rotation, Darvish is, it's what kind of Darvish are you going to see? He had a lot of strikeouts last year, for instance, but he gave up a lot of home runs. It's been a while since he's won double digits in wins. I mean, if you think about it, and a lot of that has to do with injuries, but just 6 wins for the Cubs last year. So this one scares me. You look at his contract, big contract, 3 more seasons after this one. The only good thing is that it's tapering down. So it's going from 22 to 18 by the time it's over, but I can't foresee him being worth $18 million in 4 seasons. But he is the number 1 starter, 3.5 stars, followed by Hendricks, I think, is a good middle of the road type starter. He puts up pretty decent numbers, but he's not dominant by any means. I don't expect him to do well. I'll say if he repeats what he's done in the 2 previous seasons, I'll be really happy. Outside of him, Lester really getting to the end of his career. I think certainly the way he's rated in this playthrough. Chatwood's kind of the real big question mark. I don't know if he can be a full-time starter. We'll see. Bullpen, not too good. I mean, you got a 3-star after Kimbrel. You got a 3-star, a couple 2.5 stars. It's going to be. I think before the season gets too far along, I'm going to be making some moves here in the bullpen. On the lineup side, look at the batting ratings. And I'm kind of going for now with the lineups as they are. I think I changed a few things, but I'm going to leave it pretty much where it is. Rizzo, 4 stars. Baez, 4 stars. Baez, just the way he's rated. I mean, he's going to strike out a lot. He's not going to walk a lot. He's got pretty decent speed, and I'll probably set his in-game strategy to run a little bit more than usual. Same with Kipnis. No, let me see who else is speedy. Not much speed on the team. I think Almora Jr. will probably be one of the few other guys on the team that's going to get any stolen bases. But you look, catcher Wilson Contreras, middle of the road on defense, but offense can be pretty good, I think, for a catcher. Rizzo should be okay. Ian Happ's going to be playing second for right now, although I think he's probably better rated as a left fielder. We'll see how he handles second. Chris Bryant, like I say, I don't think he's the player that won the MVP and Rookie of the Year a few years ago. Last year was pretty decent, but I expect him to start showing, at least again in this game, out of the park baseball. I don't think he's going to put up the kind of numbers he usually puts up. Schwarber, to me, Schwarber's a DH playing in the National League. We don't have his fielding stats yet from last year, but he's a poor defender. I think Ian Happ would be a better choice at left field, but if you need Schwarber's power in the lineup, we'll see how he does. And then the rest of the outfield, I've always had kind of a love-hate relationship with Hayward. I don't know, being at right field, I mean, how valuable is his defense at right field? I know he's one of the better right fielders, so maybe I'm just not giving him enough credit. But if he was a center fielder, putting up that kind of defense year after year, I think he'd be a little bit more valuable. That's just my opinion. And it's been a long time since he had a good offensive season. I mean, you're probably looking 2015 when he was with St. Louis. I think what you're going to get from him is about what you got last year, and maybe not even that much in home runs. So, in that contract, we'll get to that here in a minute. But that's the lineups. If I'm looking at the minors, we got a few guys who might be able to come up. Patterson here has not been above AA, so I'd like to see what he does in AAA first. But he might make it up here to fill in for Chatwood in that rotation. Other than him, I got a few guys here for injuries that may be some call-ups if I need him. Horner, of course, is one of the better prospects, but he's got some holes too. He came up last year and looked good for the Cubs, but I'm not sure if he's going to be more of a utility guy, and what do you do with Baez if you bring him up at short? So big question marks there. So the big thing about this team and why I thought it would be a good thing, a good challenge, the money situation is really tight, and they've got a lot of money invested in some guys here, some big contracts. So you can see just under $5 million available right now. for free agents, a little bit more for extensions. And if I look at who's coming up in free agency, offensively not too bad. You got Ian Miller, Fegley. I mean, I could probably let either one of those guys go. I mean, Ian Miller, he's in the minors right now, so that's no big deal. And then for pitchers, Brandon Morrow, who is fragile, and I hope he stays healthy. Quintana, $10.5 million. I'm not sure I would want to go that high again, and he's probably he's $11 million. I'll see what kind of season he has, but other than him, there's no one here really that I would probably need to keep on the team. But on the contract side, on the salary side, if I leave it as it is, it's going to go up $6 million, estimated anyway, with figuring in arbitration. But we have a couple of big decisions here. One probably not as big as the other. John Lester, we got a team option for him for the 2021 season, and there's no buyout. So more than likely, I will let him go. The big question will be what to do with Rizzo. And my gut would be to keep him one more season if he's productive this year and then let him go. But if he doesn't have a good season or if we look really bad this season, I may try to trade him away. We'll just see. And that might be pretty tough for Cubs fans to take. But I think with this budget situation, that's what you're going to have to do. And otherwise, there'll be a few guys here. It's going to depend on what kind of seasons they have, like Victor Caratini. Is he going to be catcher of the future? If he's not, do I really want to give him $4 million next year? Ian Happ, very good. Well, in my opinion, he's a good, utility type player. If he doesn't have a great year, I might save his arbitration figures. So that'd be another $7 million I could save. These guys here the same way. Team option for Descalzo, I probably won't be offering him again. He might even, I don't even know if he'll last the full season if he's a bench player right now. I might be able to bring up Horner early, let him go. There's a lot I can do there. Even in Schwarber. Schwarber is definitely something I would have to consider either as a trade a little bit later on in the season or just letting him go when arbitration hits. But it's going to be, I think, a rebuild playing this franchise. I don't know if you're going to have any other choice because if you keep these players here, you're not going to be winning long term. Last thing I'll look at before we get playing some games, the minor league system ratings, they're 24th. And that's with Horner being the best prospect, Amaya a catcher, right fielder Davis way down in the minors right now. He's going to be in Midwest League Low A this year. And then another catcher. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. A pitcher. The only pitcher that we have prospect is like the 87th prospect, and he's going to start in the high A, but his numbers don't really blow me away, and I really don't like his personality ratings. So we'll see. But even there, I mean, we're going to have to rebuild the farm system. So I'm happy with the Cubs as a challenge. I think it's going to be tough to win with this team for a while. So let's go ahead and get started. We're at Milwaukee, and this should be set. The continue button, which you can configure, and then you can configure it, I believe, under your manager options. I've got it set to not show and play today's game. So if you're just going to sim as I am, make sure you got that unchecked. If you check it, then it's going to make you play out the games. But just know you can also still use this to sim to a certain date, sim a week at a time. Continue button is just, I don't know. I guess it's just convenient if you're just wanting one button to get you through everything. So we open up with a win on the road and a great pitching performance from Darvish. If Darvish gives us this kind of pitching performance, I think we'll have a chance at a winning record, if at the very least. But Kimbrel was kind of rough in his first outing. Schwarber 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. Baez hit a home run. And now next game against Milwaukee, we lose 3-7. Rizzo a home run, 2 RBIs. Schwarber 2 for 4. So as much as I've been dogging him, he's off to a pretty good start. Hendricks, not a bad game, 6 innings, just 3 runs, but we couldn't pull out a win. And Suter is they're starting him. I didn't realize Suter was Brent Suter for Milwaukee. I didn't realize that they had been starting him primarily. I thought he was a bullpen guy. All right, so last game, and we win. So we win the series 2 out of 3, not too bad. Rizzo 2 for 5. Schwarber first home run. He's off to a good start. Hayward 2 for 5. He's hitting 333 so far. Quintana, the pitcher, though, probably the offensive one of the offensive heroes of the game. 3 for 3, drove in 3. How's his batting ratings? Is this guy really that good? That looks pretty. He's been in the American League a lot too. He had a decent pitching performance too, 8 innings and second save for Kimbrel. Take a look at the weekly news here. Wheeler at Phillies having a better start than he did in my test run that I did. So we are going to be middle of the pack, probably, 8th in team power rankings. Doesn't mean anything. We got a Pittsburgh coming up at home. We lose the first one 2-3. Hayward 2 for 2 with 2 walks. He's hitting 429, but no real production there. Maybe that's because he's batting so low in the lineup. Lester, his first start, not too bad. 6 innings, just 2 runs. Kimbrel, though, took the loss, and his ERA is really high so far. Whip, not too bad, but 2 home runs in just 2 1/3 innings. Kimbrel is signed to a long-term contract. Well, he signed for 2 more years after this one with a team option. So a lot of money invested in him. I don't want him to blow up. And do we have an injury? Chris Bryant, injured, moderate, just for a day. I'll probably ride it. Maybe stupid, but we got a day to rest, I think, coming up after this one. So I'll just let it go. And we lost 2-5 and lost 4-5. We were swept by Pittsburgh at home. So game 2, Almore Jr. with a home run. That was about it for the offense. Mills got the start, so it looks like they went with the bullpen starting in this one. I think we do have Chatwood listed as a follower. So that. I don't know if that was in last week's game, but while we're here, let me go ahead and take a look at that. So Chatwood is in that 5th spot. He's listed as a follower, which means he's going to come into the game after the opener, which in this case is going to be Alec Mills. I left it at that setting just to see what it does, and I don't know if it's something I'm going to continue to go with. I'd rather have the traditional starter, but yeah, I figured I would give it a go, at least for the first month. So, first attempt at it wasn't that great. I got to be honest. Although Chatwood did come in and gave us 5 1/3 shutout innings, but 5 walks, that wasn't too great. And then game 3, 4-5. Baez 2 for 4, but just 1 home run, 1 RBI for him so far. Darvish, a pretty decent game, but Cotton there, Jarrell Cotton in the bullpen. And this is what I'm saying. I mean, there's some guys here that I don't know if I'll be able to keep. He's just 1.5 stars rated from OSA. Movement's a big concern. He's going to give up a lot of home runs. I don't really foresee sticking with him too much longer. take a look at the mail, and then we'll go to this next series, which is going to be still at home, but against Arizona. And Yelich injured, but just a day-to-day injury. All right, so let's finish out today. Garrett Richards injured. He's now with San Diego. Unfortunately, he's just probably too injury-prone to rely on. A good pitcher, though, when he's healthy. So game 1 against Arizona, we lose 2-0 in extra innings. Baez was 2 for 4. Hayward 1 for 5. Those are the only hits in the game for us. Hendricks pitched a great game. 8 1/3, no runs, 11 Ks, but we just could not get any offense going. Kimbrel again. 2 runs in this game, and then 1 in the 3rd inning. That's scaring me already out of the bat because we have no one either in the bullpen now, coming up in the minors, no one who could take over that closer spot if we needed it. Game 2, 4-12. Wow, Rizzo, second home run, but 179 is what he's hitting for the year. Quintana, was he injured in this one? He is. So he's right away, he's injured, just gave us 3 innings. Mills pitched in this game, but 5 runs in 2 innings. He's not looking too good. Sadler, Cotton, those guys didn't look good in relief. And we finally pick up a win there to end the series, but 3-6 so far on the year. Caratini looked good. I might start giving Caratini more game time. I think he is arbitration eligible this year. It might be time. If he outplays Contreras, I'm not gonna quibble too much between those two. It's basically whoever's going to be playing better, I think, as the season goes on. But Lester, a complete game shutout. So I wasn't expecting to see that from him, but that his stamina is rated pretty high. So we need what we can get with the way that bullpen's going. Take a look at some of the news we have here. Soria injured for the season. Marcus Stroman is going to be gone for the year. And Quintana just day-to-day for 2 days. So we got lucky there. Players of the week, Whit Merrifield in the American League. And how about Bryce Harper, off to a great start for the Phillies. Power rankings were down there from 8th to 26th. I'll take a look at the team stats after this week. Let's see if we can get through this one. We got Pittsburgh, 4 games on the road, then at home against St. Louis. Game 1, we lose 2-7. Pittsburgh has they're 4-0 against us this year. They've been hammered. Oh, and Polanco, great start for him. But boy, we are struggling offensively. Mills and Chatwood, that doesn't seem to be working out too well so far. Game 2, 2-6. Almore Jr., a couple hits. Schwarber, did he hit another home run? He did, his second home run. Hayward hitting 300, but on pace for no home runs and 15 RBIs. Darvish, not his best game of the year so far. 6 innings, 3 runs, 4 walks. So we need to win these next 2 just to split this series. And we lose 1-2 in extra innings. 11 innings. Chris Bryant off to a slow start. He had a couple hits in this game. Hendricks pitched a good game. I don't know if he hasn't gotten a win this year, although his numbers look pretty good. Oh, boy, this is terrible. Game 4, we finally win 6-5. A record now 4-9. Baez has a good game here. 3 for 5, was that right? 3 for 5, 3 RBIs. I think 2 home runs in the game. Rizzo, pretty decent. Hayward scored a couple runs. I don't know if yeah, he is a little bit better against the righties. So he's batting pretty high up there in the lineup, I think. Contreras is really struggling. Really struggling. Just 3 hits and 33 at-bats. And then on the pitching side, Quintana did not look good. Thankfully, though, we had a good bullpen outing here. So let's go 3 games St. Louis at home. Game 1, we lose 3-0. Lester, 5 innings, 3 runs. Kim pitched a good game for them. He's a international free agent, I guess, for them this year. Again, no offense to speak of. Just 4 hits in the game. Game 2, 5-4 in extra innings. Happ, 3 for 6. He's struggling so far. Rizzo, good game here, 3 for 5, drove in 4. Bryant, though, 3 for 6, struggling early in the season. And once again, this whole follower situation, I don't know what to make of it. Mills looked pretty good, but Chatwood stunk it up when he came in. Luckily, we won in relief. Last game, let's see if we can win the series here. And we do, 4-2. So that's the first series we've won since that opening series against Milwaukee. Bryant drove in a couple here. Almora a couple hits. And then Darvish didn't get the decision. A lot of walks in this game, 6. I'm noticing that from him. He's on pace for 117 walks. Pretty high, but a low ERA. And a lot of innings. On pace for 240 innings. That would be really unexpected if I see that from him. And then did Kimbrel get a save here? He did not. Went to Brandon Morrow. We take a look at the news. Yelich is still injured. Musgrove of Pittsburgh, National League Player of the Week. Nomar Mazara for the White Sox, and I think those White Sox are going to be a good team. Well, I was reading that completely wrong. Musgrove's injured. Mazara, American League Player of the Week. Freddie Freeman, National League Player of the Week. Mike Fiers out. Ooh. And then power rankings. We moved up a little bit, did we? No, still 26. So look at the standings, and let's see. Starting with the American League, Yankees, Red Sox. Surprised about the Red Sox. I don't know how good they're going to be in real life. White Sox, though, 9-6. I do think they have the potential, even right off the bat, even this season, to be a spoiler and maybe even make the playoffs as a wild card. It's hard to say. It depends, I know, on some of those young guys, how well they're going to play. Angels off to a good start. I don't see that too much in the playthroughs I've done. Lindor hitting .431. Man, he's looking good. In the National League, Phillies off to a good start, 11-5, much better than they were with my test run. That was embarrassing. Pittsburgh, 12-4, surprise there. Cincinnati, 10-5. I can see them competing for the Central Division. Milwaukee, surprise, 5-10. Arizona, surprise, they're leading everybody in the West. And we have, outside of Hendricks, we don't have anybody showing up on this leaderboard. So I'm going to ride it a little bit longer, and we're going to be at Baltimore for a couple games, then at Washington. We lose the first game at Baltimore, 6-8. Baez, he's playing pretty good, 6 home runs already, but Contreras finally got some offense there. Hendricks, his worst outing of the year. I'm curious who they're going with at first. Who do they go with at DH here? Nunez. All right. Game 2 against Baltimore, 5-6. We've lost a lot of close games. Not too good, really. It depends on how we're losing them. But in this case, we lost it kind of in the bullpen. Quintana, 5 runs, though. Too many from him, really. So now we're going to be on the road, 4 games against Washington. I guess the first one rained out. We got a doubleheader. I guess I read that wrong. Maybe they're going to make it up, or the schedule's throwing me a little bit. It's this 2-column schedule. I'm used to it kind of being in 1 column, and I think it's throwing me off a little bit. But we win that first game 4-3. Rizzo, 2 for 5. Baez, Bryant, a good game here, 3 for 4. So his average is up to 250. And I guess Rizzo's probably leading the team in RBIs. Schwarber, drove in a run this game. Lester, another good outing from him, 8 innings to get the win. Game 2, now this is a doubleheader. 4-12 in the first one. 3 hits from Schwarber, a couple hits from Almora. Darvish hammered in this one. So was that bullpen. And then 4-7 in the second game. Ian Happ had a good game, although he's struggling so far this year. 4 for 5, drove in 3. Chatwood got the traditional start in this one and did not look good again. I don't think he's ready for starting. Let's play this last game. 9-2. Good win there. So we split that series. Almora Jr. a good game here, and he's got some good numbers going so far. I don't know if he'll continue with this. I don't know if he'll hit 29 home runs, but that's a good line from him. Rizzo, 3 more RBIs to lead the team. Hendricks finally got his first win. He has been pitching pretty good for the year. He deserved that. Take a look at the news. Big one here. Alex Bregman injured for the year. Off to a pretty slow start, too, hitting 210, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, but that's a big blow for them. Trey Turner, good game, 3 home runs. That's odd to see. Bellinger, 4 home runs in a game. Seth Lugo out. And then Players of the Week, Tim Anderson, off to a good start for Chicago White Sox. And then Colton Wong. And power rankings, we are 24th. We moved up a couple. And already a big trade. Texas trades Corey Kluber away to the Yankees for Luis Gil. Some pretty good prospects. So it looks like they're just already giving up a little bit. They also traded away Lance Lynn, a pretty decent 3-star pitcher. So how bad are Texas right? 7-15. We're not too far behind them though. I'm gonna go ahead and play out one more week. I think that'll get us almost to May. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna be home this week against San Diego and then Philadelphia. Lose to San Diego 3-10. Contreras a couple hits, still struggling though. Quintana just 7 runs in 5 innings. I don't think I can depend on him right now. Hayward led off in this game. He's struggling, hitting below 200 for the year. Lester, 5 runs in 4 1/3. And then we're swept at home by San Diego. That's what I was kind of afraid of. Darvish, 7 innings, 4 runs, 13 Ks, but man, not too good. And we're playing a pretty good Philadelphia team here. 9-0 in that first game, a good start. Hayward 2 for 3, again leading off. Baez 4 RBIs in this one. Pitching the follower, it worked this time. So Mills 1 2/3 shutout innings. Chatwood came through with 6 2/3, just 2 hits. And then game 2 against Philadelphia, another win, 10-7. Happ 3 hits. Baez 3 for 4, drove in a couple. So he's starting to really dial it in a little bit. Although he doesn't walk too much. He's still on base percentage could be a little bit higher for him. Hendricks, second win. Although he did give up 4 runs in this one. Mills, 9.88 ERA for the year. Game 3, can we sweep them? Oh, we've already got an injury. So Almora, day-to-day, and it's moderate. Even though he's listed as durable, I really think I need to sit him down with that. So that's going to change things for a little bit. I haven't really been checking the waiver wire. Let me see what kind of things are showing out there. Adam Duvall is out there. He's a mixed bag. He had a couple good seasons back a few years ago with Cincinnati, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do here because Miller is also injured and needs to be on probably needs to be on the DL. So that leaves me with very little options here. Man. Could I move somebody? Souza can only play right field. Hap. I think I'm going to have to move Hap to center. And then Horner off to a good start. I'm going to try him. I'm gonna give him a little chance here. So I'm going to move Ian Happ to center. I'm going to put Horner in at second for right now. And he's got some speed, but okay, so Happ. I want him batting second. Or Horner. All right, I'll let it go for now. Can Kipnis play center? He can. He's not very good, but he'll fill in if Hap gets tired. And then same here, Hap, who's hitting pretty hot right now. And we'll go with Horner at second. And then Kipnis backing him up there, starter tired. And then last thing, Hap is going to be Hap's going to be playing center. And I'm going to have to move this one around a little bit because I guess we're going to have Boat playing there. And then Souza can play. Can Descalzo play? I'll just move him there. This team is pretty thin, I think, and in a few areas. So Horner there, David Boat backing up, and Descalzo, he's a lefty. He's probably not going to do too well. Wow. We'll see how this goes for now, and we got Hap. All right, there we go. A big win, but a tough injury to take there. Who got the win? Hendricks, that's right. So game 3 against Philadelphia, we swept them 5-4. Ian Happ, another good game from him. Three runs driven in from Contreras, and Quintana, good game, didn't get the decision though. All right, so let's see who players of the week. Michael Brantley, he's off to a good start for Houston, and as Drubal Carrera, off to a good start with Washington. All right, so I know we're getting kind of long on the inning or in the episode. Let's go ahead and just take a look. Well, let's see if we can get through this Pittsburgh series. So we're 11-17. We've won 3 in a row. Pittsburgh, they've lost 4 in a row, 2 of 10, 8 of 10. Let's see if maybe this is a different Pittsburgh team than we've been losing to all season. First game, 6-4 in extra innings. Hap, Horner, in his debut, a home run, 2 RBIs, debut this season anyway. Chris Bryant still struggling, 2 for 4 in this one. Schwarber hitting 228. Lester, a decent outing, 7 innings, 4 runs. Game 2, 4-2. Pretty big win there. Rizzo, Horner, couple hits in the game. Bryant, couple RBIs. Darvish is just a second win, but he did pitch 7 1/3. I'm not seeing a whole lot out of Craig Kimbrell. What's going on with him? He's been in 11 games, 5 saves. So what is that? A pace 27? Maybe I just haven't been noticing. Okay, so they beat us 13-6, but we did win the series for what it's worth. Horner looking good, so I may have to make some decisions when Almora's ready to come off. But Mills, Chatwood, that combo didn't work too well this game. Our bullpen's struggling. So we're almost to the end of the month, 13-18. Let me got a message, man. Kipnis is wanting to start. Can't see that happening, really. All right, so let's take a look at the standings. They're not pretty, but we did get on a little bit of a run there, 13-18. We're playing above 400. My goal, I know my owner wants us to make the playoffs, and I want to win. I mean, I never want to play this game to lose, but if we finish above 500 or around 500, I'd be happy because my mindset is this is a rebuild if you're taking on the Cubs right now. Let's look. Oh man, let's look at the rest of the league, or MLB. So Boston, New York, surprised by Boston, but they're playing really good out of the gate. Tampa Bay doing good. Baltimore, Toronto struggling. White Sox holding on, 20-11, 2-game lead over Minnesota. And the Angels holding on, 3-game lead over Houston. And now Philadelphia probably didn't help that they were swept by us, but they're now a game behind Washington. The Mets and Atlanta not playing as well as I thought they would. This is a competitive division so far. 30 games in, every team is right around 500. Reds now leading in the Central. Pittsburgh taking a pretty big dive there, so we're not too far behind them now. 3 games. Arizona still leading, but they're now tied with the Dodgers. Individually, Brantley, Kevin Biggio off to a good start, average-wise anyway. Rafael Devers, 28 RBIs. 5 wins already from a couple pitchers here. That's 27-win pace. Haney with the Angels and Lopez with the White Sox. Garrett Cole, just 1-2 in 7 starts, 59 strikeouts, 5 walks. His numbers are good. On pace for 11 wins above replacement, but 5 wins, not good. So Mookie Betts looking good there in Los Angeles. Man, on pace for 65 home runs. That's incredible. He leads the league in home runs. Alonso looking good as well. Cody Bellinger leading in stolen bases. That's a surprise. Pitching, Bauer, Buehler, Flaherty, all with 4 wins. I've noticed that Trevor Bauer is really rated pretty highly with this default set anyway. So he should have a pretty decent season, I think, with Cincinnati and give them a good chance in the Central. But let's take a look at, this is a report I like to look at a lot, the team stats report. It gives you, your streaks. It gives you how you rate offense and pitching. And you can see last 10 games, we're playing better, but it's both sides of the ball. We have only 1 category, 2, 3. And I'm not sure what this base running category is. But outside of those 3, just hits, home runs, and walks. So I'm sorry, 4 categories. We're 10th or worse. Batting average 13th. On base and slugging 10th. On the pitching side, that earned run average for the starters 8th in the league, but 13th for the team. That bullpen is terrible. 14th place out of 15 teams. We're the last in wins above replacement. Defensive efficiency, we're middle of the pack, so at least that's something to count on if we do get some better pitching. Individually, I know where the problems are. I mean, we've got Mills, Jeffries even, and Cotton not looking good in the bullpen. And then it might be time to get rid of this whole follower opener thing and go back to traditional. It might even be time to look at the minors and see how some of these younger guys are going. I think it was Patterson who I was saying might have a chance. He hasn't looked too good, though. I don't know if he's quite ready to go. I want to give him more time. Just 4 starts in AAA, but Abbott, he's not looking too good either. And then even in the bullpen, in the minors, not good. So let's look at the lineups, see what's going on there. Batting stats. Carantini, his extra base hits aren't that great, but he is hitting a little bit better right now than Contreras. I may need to give him more time. I mean, you just need to adjust this down a little bit so that Caratini is playing more. That's something I'll do offline. Adjust that a little bit. Rizzo, 256 average, but his production is pretty good. On pace for 31 home runs, 105 RBIs, 99 walks. So he's on base percentage is pretty good with that low average. But Ian Happ starting to hit pretty good. I don't expect he's going to hit 20 home runs. He might, though. His production's good. I can live with it. Chris Bryant, not having a great year. Still on pace for a pretty high wins above replacement, but that could be from defense. His zone rating is pretty decent at 3rd. Baez, doing what I expect. Good power numbers, but a lot of strikeouts. Horner is on fire right now out of the gate, but is he going to be able to play full time? And if he is, I mean, do I really want to move Schwarber out already, or Hayward even? Hayward has been really cold, and is it time to kind of look? Can Ian Happ play right? He's better at left, but I want to keep Happ. Almora Jr. I'll probably keep when he comes on because he's the best center fielder I guess I'm going to have. Although Happ can play center field, maybe Almora takes over for Hayward. If we can keep if Horner continues to play high. I know it's just 3 games though right now, so a lot of time left to see how that's going to play out. But I'm going to go ahead offline and adjust these things. Don't be surprised when you come back. We'll come back after not the All-Star break, after the draft, play into the All-Star break. Don't be surprised if what you see is 1 or 2 of these guys no longer in the starting lineup. And I'm probably looking at you, Schwarber and Hayward. But that's where I'm kind of focused on right now. Schwarber, he's going to get more time just because of his power ratings. But I can't afford that offense coming out of Hayward. And I wanted to look at the waiver wire too, just to make sure. I haven't been paying attention to that, and I usually like to pay attention to that every week, and I just haven't been doing it. So I'm not seeing much on there right now. Trading block. I mean, there's some good choices there. Freddie Galvis, if I needed a shortstop. But let's see about left field. And Shin Soo-Choo, I know his contract's way too high, $21 million. Corey Dickerson, though, $8 million. That's a thought. But I don't really think I need offense. I think I can mix and match with the prospects and what I have right now for offense. The big need is pitching. So between now and the All-Star break, even though, again, I know this team's going to have some challenges to win, I'm still going to try to win. And so between now and this next episode, I'm going to adjust that lineup a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can find some pitchers. So just like the lineups are going to be different, there's going to be some pitchers you're probably not going to see when we come back in the next episode. But anyway, that's how it starts. Thanks for watching. Kind of went a little long here on this one, but I hope you like it, and appreciate the likes, comments, and thumbs up that I get on this. So I'll see you next episode. Will be after the draft, and we'll take it to the All-Star break. Thanks for watching.